All right, so get ready because today we're diving into the world of LLMs.
LLM.
Large language
Oh,
models
yeah.
and something called RAG.
Reggie?
Okay. It stands for Retrieval-Augmented Generation.
Okay.
But honestly, it used to feel like I was just drowning in information every day.
Oh.
Emails, reports, articles, like it never
I know what
ends.
you mean.
Right. But imagine if you had an AI assistant that could not only process all that, but help you actually make sense of it all.
Oh, wow.
That's what we're going to be exploring today.
Cool.
We've got this report from Unisphere Research.
Okay.
They're like the knowledge management gurus, and they talked to over 382 executives from some pretty big companies to see how this tech is changing things.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So what did they find out?
Well, one of the really interesting things is that 85% of the companies that they surveyed,
Wow.
these are mainly companies with revenues over $500 million.
Okay.
They are already jumping on the LLM bandwagon.
Really? Yeah. 85% are either exploring it or testing it out, or they're already using it in their daily operations.
Yeah, this isn't like some far-off futuristic thing.
Right.
It's happening right now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so it sounds like businesses are really seeing the potential here. I remember when all this started to take off, it felt like it was mainly a tech industry thing.
Yeah.
But this report is showing that it's spreading way beyond just tech.
Oh, for sure. We're seeing this being adopted across a really wide range of sectors, um, like finance, government, even education is getting involved.
Wow, even education.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And what I find particularly fascinating is that 27% of these companies already have LLMs running in their core operations.
Wow, 27% already.
Yeah, they're not just dipping their toes in the water. They're diving right in.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So what's driving this rapid adoption? Is it purely about efficiency, or are there other factors at play here?
I think it's a combination of things. Certainly the potential for increased productivity and,
Right.
faster insights. That's a major draw. But there's also, I think, this sense of urgency. Almost a fear of being left behind.
Hmm.
Companies are seeing their competitors adopt this technology, and they realize they need to keep pace.
It's like when everyone in your neighborhood gets a fancy new gadget and you start feeling the pressure to upgrade too.
Exactly.
Okay, but before we get too caught up in all the hype, let's break down what we even mean by external versus internal LLMs.
Okay, yeah, good point. The report highlights that a majority of companies, 68% to be exact, they're opting to use external LLM services,
Okay.
like what OpenAI offers with ChatGPT.
Right.
Think of it like choosing to use a cloud-based service instead of, building your own server farm.
Ah, so it's about accessibility and convenience. You get to tap into the power of these advanced models without the headache of building and maintaining them yourself.
Exactly.
That makes sense. What about the companies that are going the internal route?
Yeah, well, only 17% are solely relying on internally developed LLMs. Building your own LLM is a very complex and resource-intensive undertaking. You need specialized expertise and you need significant investment. It's not surprising that most companies are choosing the more pragmatic approach of leveraging existing solutions.
It makes sense to tap into that existing expertise, especially when you consider how fast this technology is evolving. It's like
Yeah.
trying to build your own smartphone from scratch, probably not the most efficient way to go.
Yeah, definitely not.
So we've got companies adopting LLMs at a pretty rapid pace, and most of them are choosing to go the external route. But what exactly are they hoping to achieve with all of this AI power?
Well, the report points to a few key areas. Boosting employee productivity is a big one. Imagine having AI tools that can help your team research faster, generate reports, even draft emails.
It's like having a supercharged research assistant who's available 24/7.
Right.
That's
Right.
incredible. But it's not just about working faster, it's about making better decisions.
Yeah, exactly. Companies are using LLMs to analyze huge amounts of data and extract really meaningful insights, whether it's identifying market trends, understanding customer sentiment, or even predicting future outcomes.
Wow.
The faster you can get to those insights, the better equipped you are to make informed choices.
So we've talked about how LLMs can potentially boost productivity and, help make better decisions, but how are companies actually putting this into practice? What
Yeah.
are the real-world applications that we're seeing?
Yeah, let's start with some internal benefits that companies are experiencing.
Okay.
A significant 67% of companies with LLMs already in production, they're using them to help employees access insights more easily.
Okay.
Think about how much time we all spend just digging through files, emails, and reports.
Yeah.
LLMs can streamline that whole process
Oh, wow.
by quickly surfacing, the relevant information.
That's a huge time saver.
Yeah.
And it makes those insights more accessible to everyone in the organization, not
Right.
just like the data scientists.
Exactly.
So what other internal use cases are companies exploring?
Well, content creation's a big one. The report found that 60% of companies are using LLMs to generate reports, articles, marketing materials.
So imagine being able to draft a high-quality report in a fraction of the time it would normally take.
Right.
That's pretty amazing.
It could totally revolutionize the way we create and consume content.
It's not just about speed, though, right?
Right.
LLMs could potentially improve the quality and the relevance of the content as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
LLMs can analyze huge amounts of data to identify trends and then tailor content to specific audiences.
Think about how powerful that could be for marketing and communications teams.
Yeah.
They could personalize messages, create more engaging content that really resonates with their target audience.
For sure.
Okay, so we've talked about internal use cases,
Mhm.
but how are LLMs changing the game when it comes to customer experience?
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people have encountered those chatbots on websites,
Yeah,
but are LLMs taking that to the next level?
they absolutely are. 60% of companies are using LLMs to power those customer self-service applications. These AI-powered assistants can handle a wide range of tasks,
Like what?
from answering frequently asked questions to guiding customers through, more complex processes.
It's like having a 247 customer service team that never gets tired or frustrated.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What about those situations, though, that require a human touch?
Yeah.
Are LLMs replacing human agents altogether?
Not necessarily.
Hmm.
In a lot of cases, LLMs are actually being used to augment human capabilities.
Okay.
For example, they can provide agents with real-time information and guidance during customer interactions.
Okay.
Imagine an AI assistant that could instantly pull up a customer's purchase history or suggest relevant solutions based on their previous inquiries.
That would be a game changer for customer service teams. They could resolve issues faster and provide more personalized support.
Absolutely.
So LLMs are impacting both internal operations and customer-facing activities.
Right.
What about their impact on, like, broader business decisions?
Yeah.
How are they being used to shape company strategy?
That's where things get really interesting. The report highlights several ways that companies are using LLMs to drive insights and inform their strategic decision-making.
Okay.
One area is, knowledge discovery.
Okay.
LLMs can sift through these massive data sets to identify hidden patterns and relationships that humans might miss.
So it's like having an AI detective that can uncover clues and insights that are buried in your data.
Exactly.
So what kind of insights are we talking about here?
Everything from, market trends and customer preferences to operational inefficiencies and potential risks.
Wow.
These insights can inform product development, marketing campaigns, investment decisions, all sorts of things.
It sounds incredibly powerful. It's like having a crystal ball that can help you anticipate the future.
Yeah, in a way.
But with all this talk about AI and data analysis, I have to ask, where do humans fit into this picture? Are we being replaced by algorithms?
That's a question a lot of people are asking. And the answer is a little more nuanced than a simple yes or no. LLMs are incredibly powerful tools,
Right.
but they're not a replacement for human judgment and expertise.
Okay.
I think of it more as a partnership,
A collaboration.
right, where each brings their own unique strengths to the table.
Yeah.
Humans have the intuition, the creativity, the ethical considerations.
Okay.
Well, AI brings the speed and scale and analytical capabilities.
But let's be real, there are risks and challenges associated with this technology, right?
Absolutely. And the report doesn't shy away from addressing those works. We should delve into those concerns now because understanding the potential downsides is just as important as recognizing all the benefits.
Okay. Let's do it.
It's kind of like, when you're building a house.
Okay.
You can have the most beautiful blueprints in the world.
Right.
But if you build it on a shaky foundation,
Yeah.
it's not going to stand the test of time.
So data quality, that's the foundation for all of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The report found that a whopping 71% of companies see data quality as a major challenge when it comes to implementing LLMs.
If you feed an LLM bad data, you're going to get unreliable results, maybe even nonsensical results.
Exactly. Garbage and garbage outright.
Right. What about those so-called hallucinations that we hear about with LLMs?
Yeah.
When they just like make stuff up.
Right. Well, that's a concern for 41% of companies.
Okay.
And rightfully so. Hallucinations, they can happen when an LLM tries to fill in gaps in its knowledge or when it's been trained on data that's biased or incomplete.
I see.
So imagine relying on an LLM to, you know, draft a legal document and it inserts a clause that's completely fabricated.
No, that would be a disaster.
Yeah.
So how do we prevent these AI hallucinations?
Well, that's where RA comes in.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about RA being like a safety net?
Uh-huh.
By connecting LLMs to reliable external data sources, you can ground their responses in facts and reduce the risk of, those creative fabrications.
So it's like giving the LLM a reference library to double-check its work.
Exactly.
But even with good data and RAG in place, are there still concerns about bias?
Absolutely. 37% of companies are concerned about the potential for bias in LLM outputs.
Okay.
These models learn from the data they're trained on. And if that data reflects, existing biases in society,
Yeah.
the LLM might perpetuate those biases in its responses.
So it's not enough to just focus on the technical aspects. We need to be thinking about the ethical implications too.
Right.
How can companies ensure that they're using this technology responsibly?
Well, the report really stresses the importance of having a human in the loop.
What does that mean?
It means involving humans in the development, the deployment, and the monitoring of these systems
Okay.
to ensure that they're being used ethically and that the outputs are fair and unbiased.
It's a powerful reminder that technology, no matter how advanced, is only as good as the people who create and use it.
Well said.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the key takeaway for you?
I think the biggest takeaway for me is that we're on the verge of a major shift in how we interact with information. LLMs and RAG, they have the potential to revolutionize how we learn, how we work, how we make decisions.
It's exciting.
It is. But we need to approach this revolution with both enthusiasm and caution.
Right.
We need to be mindful of the potential pitfalls, and we really need to prioritize ethical considerations every step of the way.
This deep dive has given me a lot to think about.
Me too. It's going to be fascinating to see how this technology evolves and shapes our world in the years to come.
So here's a final thought for you, dear listener. How could LLMs and RAG transform your work, your industry, or even your daily life? What opportunities do you see and what concerns do you have? It's a conversation worth having, and the future is waiting to be written.